Welcome. You're watching Head to Head. I'm Antonina Antosha with UATV. Road safety is one of the most addressed issues in European countries, and Ukraine is no exception. On October 8th, representatives of Ukraine's national police came back to controlling the speed on the roads. Policemen hope that the step will help reduce the accident rate by at least 1/3. So how do we keep Ukrainian roads safe for both drivers and pedestrians? To give us more details, we're joined in the studio today by Olena Kryvoruchko. She is the head of the Ukrdorinvest state company. Hello, and thank you for joining us.
Hello.
So, as I have already mentioned, the National Police of Ukraine is back at controlling speed on Ukrainian roads. And now, in a framework of a so-called pilot project, there are several cameras installed on Kyiv roads. Now, when does this project end, and what kind of effect do you expect to get out of this pilot project?
Yeah, sure. This is one of the just one of the measures, I would say, the strategy which is addressed to enhance road safety on our not just local roads but international traffic corridors. So basically, what we are doing currently, we are trying to implement so-called intellectual transport system. What does it mean? This system includes three main components, and we have involved best consultants from Sweden, for example, to help us to prepare this key strategy for implementation in future years. What does it mean? Intellectual transport system. Three main components: speed enforcement, automatic speed enforcement, e-tolling, probably, maybe in future, and way in motion. The most critical here is way in motion, I would say, because the measures which were introduced this week by police, by installing these cameras, this is perfect solution, but it's just a first step. Our main goal to introduce it throughout the country, and to introduce it on almost automatic basis. What does it mean? For example, we are trying to exclude human factor, because we do understand that there are risks of potential corruption or misuse of these cameras, or trying to, I would say, delete the data which was recorded and so forth. So that's why our main goal to introduce it almost absolutely on automatic basis. And right now we have already launched the project related to lane motion. What does it mean? In the road surface, in the road pavement, we will install so-called indicators, which will, in automatic regime, address the weight of the vehicle coming through this section, and the cameras which are installed above on the gantries, specific gantries on the road, will fix the speed. Of course, this is only for analytic data and analytic data analysis, but in future, what it will give us opportunity just to have an analysis of the average speed of the vehicles coming through this section, and will give us the opportunity to introduce in full the component related to automatic speed enforcement, where the cameras will be installed everywhere on main corridors and afterwards in the cities, on the local roads. And of course, the main reason of these actions, this is dramatic statistic related to traffic accidents, with fatalities. And that's why we are working together with the World Bank in terms of implementation of this intellectual transport system. And I would say that this pilot project will be just the beginning. And our main goal to introduce all possible measures to enhance traffic safety. And in parallel, what we are doing else, this is new introductions to the design. What we propose is just to change the width of the lanes, traffic lanes. It was recently announced that all the roads in future will be designed with another perimeters. The main goal.
It's going to be shorter.
Yes, it's going to be. Yes, it's going to be shorter.
Isn't it going to increase the incident rate once again?
It may. We will see based on the results, because, you know, just to shorten it, it doesn't mean that it will help. So we need to have proper road marking on the roads.
Exactly.
This is the most crucial. And all these measures in common will give the results, but not just introducing on some highway the limitation of the width. So basically what we are doing right now, we are trying to think globally. What else can be done on Ukrainian roads to enhance traffic safety? safety. And one of the most crucial things here is also construction of elements which will provide opportunity to increase traffic safety, like traffic interchanges in different levels, because if we may go through any road like international even corridor, for example M06 road, which goes through Lviv to Chop, or when we are going to Kharkiv, for example, we see that we have pedestrian crossings and people cannot even move and cross these crossings, unfortunately, because the cars are going very fast, and of course it leads to traffic accidents. And that's why what we are doing right now, and what was addressed in the legislation, 5% of so-called road fund will be allocated only for the purposes of road safety improvement on our both local roads and international governmental roads.
Speaking of the traffic incidents and accidents, once again, it's been said that these new measures are expected to decrease the number of traffic accidents by 1/3. Now, what kind of number are we talking about? How many? Is there any data? Is there any statistics? Starting from the beginning of 2018, how many fatal car accidents did we have on Ukrainian roads?
If I'm not wrong, just for the half of the year, meaning starting from January till June, we have more than 1,250 accidents. So it means that our statistic is the worst in all the European countries. And unfortunately, we have opposite correlation between the quality of the road surface and the number of the accidents. Why? Because whenever we are trying to improve the road surface, all the drivers are going fast, unfortunately. And it leads to more traffic accidents. And that's why the speed enforcement here is the key solution. How to make sure that all these measures are working in synergy, only by introducing serious enforcement related to speed, first of all.
Okay. You just mentioned that you are in collaboration with World Bank trying to put new infrastructure on Ukrainian roads. What about Ukrainian organizations, companies, NGOs, government-based companies? Are they taking part in this project? Yes,
they are actually very proactive. We are working in collaboration with most of the NGOs, which provide a great interest in terms of measures to improve the road safety. But actually, the main issue here is funding. Yes, we have a lot of proposals. We know the theory. But how it implement without money, this is the key issue. And here, of course, we need the support from the institutions like international financial institutions, from EBRD, for example, from the World Bank Group. And basically, what we are trying to do right now is to change a little bit the philosophy, not just to invest into roads, for example, to rehabilitate some section of the road, to increase the traffic safety, but to think over how this road can be maintained and kept in the same condition for a while.
As long as possible.
Yes, of course it's possible, because the key issue here is maintenance. We can invest a lot of money into the roads, into roads rehabilitation, but afterwards, when the contractor has fulfilled the obligation, meaning has constructed the road or rehabilitated the road, afterwards this road is transferred back to local road service, for example, for the maintenance. And here we have that huge gap, because we have lack of money which are allocated for the maintenance, and of course, for example, winter maintenance is not proper, and everyone can see that whenever it starts snowing, it's a collapse on Ukrainian roads. This is the reason why we are trying to enhance the funding related to road maintenance. And here we have the solution. It's a long-term contracts, so-called output and performance-based contracts, which are related to road maintenance. When the contractor is responsible, for example, for the period of 5 years for the road maintenance and keeping it at a certain level. And if this certain level is not reached, the contractor is penalized. For example, whenever snow is not cleaned from the road within, for example, 4 hours period, the contractor will not receive the amount which is assumed to be received by the end of the month. And this is the approach which is introduced in all the European countries. When the contractor, when the private market is responsible for road maintenance, but not local authorities with local facilities which are very, very limited.
This is a pretty harsh system. Wouldn't it scare the contractors away?
You know, right now the market is rather is emerging, I would say, because right now all the contractors are trying to reallocate resources to buy new facilities related to the maintenance, because they understand that the governmental sources are exhausted. And right now our policy of decentralization provides the opportunity for the private market to step in terms of providing maintenance services. And here we have already this year the competition among private companies to maintain the roads, for example, for a short period of time, not like in our international contracts for 5-7 years, but for 1 year, and we will see the results. Who is better? Governmental entities without proper financing, yes, or private market based on the contract signed.
The last question is, what's Ukrdorinvest planning on? I mean, major project. What are you planning to do in 2019?
I would say the major project is GO Highway, Gdansk-Odessa Highway project, which was initiated by Mr. Novak, acting head of Ukrdorinvest, and the main aim to connect Baltic ports and Black Sea ports with the rather good roads, not like they exist right now. And we have allocated a lot of funds, and hopefully more than 50 billion Ukrainian hryvnias will be allocated for the road infrastructure next year, 2019.
We wish you all the luck in all the upcoming projects, and thank you so much for coming and explaining the whole novelties that are expected to appear on Ukrainian roads in the nearest future. That was Olena Kryvoruchko. She is the head of the Ukrdorinvest state company. Thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned with UATV for more.